Hey guys, how's it going? This is Kellen here with a review today. Looking at one from Tilted Barn Brewery out of Exeter, Rhode Island. It's their Libby. It's a blonde ale they do. Pretty sure they do rotating hops per batch. This one's Mosaic and Nelson. Pretty cool combo. Coming to 5%. So yeah, you know, what makes this a blonde ale? Not exactly sure. I'm going to assume it's going to be more like a session IPA, or what more akin to what you assume is a session IPA. Kind of reminiscent of the Eureka series from Treehouse. They have, I think they did a original Eureka, but I've since the for as long as I've known Treehouse, I haven't seen any just Eureka. It's always been different hop varieties. So I'm not sure if it's just the base beer, the base malts they're using, or what makes it, what about the beer makes it a blonde ale. Yeah, styles have pretty obscured, have been obscured now. They're kind of obfuscated by the focus on hops. So, not exactly sure what the original Libby had to offer. But yeah, Mosaic Nelson should be good. It's about a week cold, if that. 5%, no can date, but I think it's within a week. So yeah, Libby's our little blondie. Libby is an American blonde ale, and one of our favorite. Here's a Tilted Barn. Different hops of each batch. There you go. Okay, cool. So pours out. Yeah, nice level of haze. Kind of got elegant taste, nothing too murky. Kind of like a grim IPA. Um, so there's some haze for sure, but it's not that murky kind of dirty vibe. That's orange kind of glow. Definitely not very blonde. Definitely more of an orange kind of color. But yeah, it looks good. It's a good aroma. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, it really is a nice blend between Mosaic and Nelson. You're getting that Mosaic kind of dank, kind of weird fruitiness. Again, I was compared to more like kind of a minerality, kind of vitamin kind of smell. It's kind of hard to describe, like a fruity, like kid vitamin. Kind of this gritty earthiness. But in Nelson is kind of there. Mosaic definitely takes the front seat, but you kind of have those like undertones of grape, earthiness that you get from Nelson. Oddly enough, like maybe it's just how they're presenting in this beer, but they kind of have similar notes. I think Mosaic kind of present itself a little more fruity, but the earthy component in both those hops are very similar. Um, and thinking about it, they really have a very similar quality in that sense. Mosaic's a lot more sharp, I would say. Nelson's a lot more soft in terms of the fruit that it kind of generally, the fruit kind of characteristics it provides, but that earthy kind of dirty element is very similar across both hops, between both hops. Yeah, it's weird. I keep saying it smells more mosaic forward, but it's kind of hard to distinguish at this point. Um, but overall, it smells really nice. Nice level of sweetness, really no malt to speak of. Hops take the show. It's good to taste. That's interesting. It's almost like a parabola. So maybe it's kind of a weird transition. I'd say it's like a, yeah. So you get some like mosaic, you get a little Nelson, and then you get a little more mosaic. It's just a weird kind of evened out kind of profile. It definitely showcases the mosaic up front. You get that fruity kind of berry element. Mid palate, you kind of get that funky kind of Nelson vibe, and then it finishes with that bitterness, that mineral earthiness I get from mosaic. It's very flavorful for 5%. Um, Body's not huge, but in terms of the flavor profile, the depth, I'd probably guess is around 6%, maybe 6.5. and it doesn't sound like much, 1%, when half it really is in some beer. For a 4% beer versus a 5% beer can make a huge difference. This one I believe could be, if someone told me it was 7%, I'd believe it. There's a nice little bitterness. Some might call it astringent, but I don't. Maybe it's like a little yeasty kind of piffiness. I don't know what it is. It's kind of sitting there on a palate, but it's so flavorful. Very nice. I mean, these hops go very well together. Again, there's something that the earthy qualities between the hops. There's some similarity between them that I've really never picked up on, but like having them together, I kind of realize how kind of in sync they are. That being said, I can see why some breweries would. Maybe I haven't seen this combo that often because maybe some breweries try to get some contrast. If you're getting two of the same kind of profiles, you're not really adding much distinction between the two, right? They're kind of the same kind of. They're adding the same thing to the beer. So maybe you'd want like a Citra, Nelson or Galaxy Nelson. You're getting something contrasting from the other hop, so you'd get a little more of a, diverse profile. So in that sense, it's definitely, I think that might have something to do with it. But it's a really interesting combination that I don't see that often. Is Mosaic Nelson, and that might be it. Maybe that's why, or maybe that's just my mind playing tricks on me. But there's definitely some similarities in earthiness, at least in this specific beer that I'm picking up on. But this is really good, very depth, a lot of depth, nice mouthfeel. Getting that really, really strong mint, like kind of not bitter, but just earthy flavor that just lingers in this beer. Yeah, this is a crusher though, overall. Yep, definitely some inconsistency there. Not inconsistency, that sounds negative, but yeah, obviously there's some haze added to that last pour. Yeah, this is a great beer though. Excellent. 95 for 5%. Showcases both hops very well and very enjoyable. These guys, as far as I can tell so far, cannot go wrong. So, yeah, this is Libby, Mosaic, Nelson. Until next time, cheers.